Hey everybody, it's Thursday, so it's our second day of e-learning. Hopefully yesterday went okay for you. We're just going to continue with 7.6, which is the zero product rule. The title of your notes is very important, and I'll kind of show you how it goes along with each example. We'll do 5 examples today, and then hopefully you can try the odds on worksheet number 10. Let me know in the comments on Google Classroom if something is challenging for you. Okay, so we're gonna skip 6 to start off with because 6 is a little bit of a hard, tricky problem. So we're gonna jump to 7. We'll do 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we'll jump back to 6, and that'll be our notes for today. So the reason why we can use the zero product rule here is it's a times problem equals 0. And the answer to a times problem is called the product. So 0 is the product. So if a times problem equals 0, what we need to remember is that we can do front equals 0, back equals 0. Or math people would say set each factor equal to 0. So I have my first factor or front, and I have my second factor or my back, and each of them can equal 0. So I can take 3x minus 1 is allowed to equal 0, but I can also take 4x plus 5 could equal 0. So we're going to solve both of those equations. Here we'll get rid of the minus 1 by add 1 on each side. That will give us 3x equals 1. And then we can divide by 3 to get x by itself. Now this is going to be a fraction answer of x equals 1/3. The other one, we're going to have to minus 5 to get rid of the plus 5. Then we will have 4x equals -5, and to get rid of the 4 touching the x, we use division, and this will also give us a fraction answer of x equals -5/4. So if we have 2 pieces of multiply equals 0, we're going to try our best to get 2 answers. Now we saw yesterday, if a factor doesn't have a variable, you can't solve it, so you won't get 2 answers, but we at least try. Number 8 will actually be easier because each of the math factors will have a little easier solution. So number 8 again, why can we use the zero product rule? It's a times problem equals 0, and the answer to a times problem is the product. So 0 is the product, there's a math rule about it. And we state that front equals 0, back equals 0, and we can set each of them equal to 0. So doing that work, we can have x plus 3 equals 0, or we could have x minus 5 equal to 0, and we solve them separately. Now if you're getting better at it, you can not show the step of minus 3 on both sides, and when you take 0 minus 3, you get -3 as a solution. To get rid of the minus 5, you can add 5 on both sides, and 0 plus 5 makes +5. Okay, so after those 2 examples, 9 and 10 get a little bit more challenging. So on number 9, we have to understand what an exponent is. An exponent is repeated multiplication. So in order to do this problem, we would actually want to write it out the long way. X squared represents x times x, and then it's times x plus 6 is equal to 0. But again, it's still the zero product rule. A times problem equals 0. The answer to a times problem is the product, so when there's 0 as a product, there's a rule about it. And instead of just going front equals 0, back equals 0, now we have 3 pieces. Front equals 0, middle can equal 0, back equals 0. And we'll notice that the front equals 0, the middle equals 0, and the back equals 0 will give me 3 solutions. But these x's are already by themselves, and if it's a repeated answer, you can box them both, or you can just box one of them because they're the same answers. And here we will minus 6 on both sides, leaving us with x equals -6. So it looks like we have 3 answers, but we really only have 2. The answer is 0 and -6. All right, our last basic example follows number 9. If we have 3 pieces of multiply, or 3 factors, we'll try our best to get 3 answers when it equals 0. So I'll take front equals 0, middle equals 0, and back equals 0. When I take 3x equal to 0, x plus 1 equals 0, and x x minus 1 equals 0, I'll try to get 3 different answers. To get this x by itself, divide by the number that is touching. 0 divided by 3 is 0, so x equals 0 is one solution. Now I will not show this step, but we're going to do it out loud or in our heads. We're going to minus 1 on both sides, and 0 minus 1 is negative 1. And then we're going to add 1 on both sides, leaving us with x equals positive 1. So those are the 3 basic examples. Now we do have to run back to 6 real quick. So you'll see, we'll get rid of this stuff, and there's going to be a little bit of an issue. Now we're going to learn how to do it a little bit later, but number 6, if you have the guided notes, and remember, you can just write them down by hand if you do not have a printer at home, is some of my students will try to solve this. They'll try to go front equals 18, back equals 18, but there is no rule for this. So we want to make sure that when we're learning our math process, that we only follow the rules that are taught to us. So right here, you guys, you cannot do this problem because we don't have an 18 product rule. If a times problem equals 18, it's not really that special in math. So if you see something like this on your homework tonight, just say can't do. But the key is yet. We're going to learn how to solve these problems. There is a way, it's just not as simple as the 0 product rule. I hope this clarified anything you guys, or any issues you guys would have had yesterday. We did finish our 7.6 notes. You would have the same worksheet that you guys would have had yesterday on our Google Classroom, worksheet number 10, but now you'll do the odds. So make sure you guys are just staying organized. Label all your papers with dates when you do them, so then when we get back, and if you keep a nice folder, I can give you participation points, and then hopefully your grade can go on up. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, it's your boy, Mr. P.